Hi, this is Deborah Atkinson, and I'm the founder of Voice for Fitness and a 34-year fitness professional. This is the place where you get marketing and sales information that works, that worked in the brick and mortar business of walking in the door and working with clients, training trainers to work with clients, and building a thriving and successful personal training department that was profitable for 7 years before leaving to do the same thing with our systems for marketing and selling with packages online, digitally, and courses for coaching trainers like you in the digital space. So a whole new world and starting from ground zero, building that up. And so I'm doing both the business to business of still working with and consulting with personal trainers and business owners and working with customers, really narrowing in the niche for a need that I've identified and that I think you could also do well in because it's certainly an underserved market. More about that later. This is the first of a very short 3-part mini-series. And by very short, I mean each section is intended to be short. So truly, I have to admit, I am not short-winded. So I tend to go a little on the embellishment, telling the stories, fleshing it out so that you completely get it. And I've put it in words in different ways so that different listeners can get it. I'm going to try to keep that short. That's not a strong suit, but I will try. So the first thing that I really want to go over with you is the marketing that really has to happen for you to be successful going forward. The change in your marketing mindset is first. And what I'm going to go over, just to give you a little teaser for what's coming in the next couple of podcasts, will be once you change the mindset, then you're open to the idea of how you can go about marketing better so that you can put more butts in the seats, so to speak, literally. And if you can do that, even short term on a consistent basis, you can charge more for what it is you're doing. And what I'm noticing with a lot of group training programs is what's happened is we're simply calling it group training, but we're charging it as if it's group fitness. And the difference to me, so let me define that in case you define it differently, is personal training is one-on-one training notoriously. Now it's partner training or trio training or team training, or it's larger group training. But the idea is it's a revenue generating stream. So you're actually profiting from it. You don't necessarily want to be making the same amount of money training 8 people as you would if you were training 1, because which is harder? If you're doing a really good job of getting those 8 people results, training 8 people at one time is going to be hard, even if they have some commonalities and you have targeted a group with a problem that you're going to fix. Even then, you have to make adjustments constantly on the fly, whether it's for physical or personality differences. There's always going to be more work that has to happen when you're training multiples than not, if you're going to have a successful program that's going to continue to attract and attract and attract. So let's just be really, really clear on that. So today we're talking all about the mindset of wanting to grow your business first of all. I'm going to get into a few points in just a minute. In the second of this series, the next one, when you're ready to go and you really want more information, we're going to map out your marketing. Because for a lot of us, it's a black hole. We want to do it. We know we have to let people know about us, but we've kind of begun to go into this thing where we think we can do it all, or we don't know what to delegate. We don't know enough about marketing to feel comfortable delegating because we're kind of telling somebody, here you go. Here's the keys to the car. Just go drive it and let me know how it goes. You want more control than that and totally get that. You do need to know the processes. You need to know what's possible, but you don't necessarily have to be the one to do it. You do need to be the one to plan it out so that people are accountable to you. So you can say, here's our expectation on the blog. We want the blog post written once a week. Maybe you do yours twice a month. Maybe you have some other kind of frequency that's greater. But you want to have that, and you want to say, for every blog post that's going to go out, I want to see the rough draft. I want to approve it before it goes, and we want to know it's gone through typos, spelling errors. We want to make sure that all of the links to research have been checked. You want all of that is a piece of marketing just for one little slice of doing your blog. Once you do the blog is actually not the marketing. That's the content. And now you have to have this vehicle taken out. You got to drive it. So you've got to decide, where are we going to post that? Where are the customers who most would be attracted to that blog and that blog content? That is what you want to schedule and have people answer to you and say, here are the numbers. Here's the tracking. Here's how many people liked it, commented on it, shared it. Here's how much traffic we had coming back from Facebook or from our Pinterest or from Twitter. And those are kinds of things you want to set up and say, okay, here's our marketing mind map. And we'll get more into that in the second one. Now, in the third one of this series, we're going to talk about really how you make this magic happen. So you can declare, this is what we want to happen. These are the numbers we're going to track so that we know if what we're doing is working or if we need to change the map we've created. But third, you've got to get down and dirty and roll your sleeves up and do some of the things that you may think that you don't have a need to do. You may think you know your customers so well that you don't need to be asking them questions. You don't need to really thoroughly call up some of the people who didn't renew, who didn't buy ever, and find out why. And some of those things are really simple strategies and templates that you can put in place. There's systems that can allow you to collect this information automatically. It's not that it's going to take another staff person or more time. As long as you have one small acute pain, set it up, and then let it go. And I'll tell you all about that. So number one today, the mindset of growing your business. What does that look like today? Because it's getting harder. There's more options for any customer, no matter what. Even the ones I'm talking about who are underserved, where I feel you could probably stand to have a lot of growth. Because I hear from all women who are between the ages of 40 and 65, but probably my sweet spot is between 50 and 69. They're really truly the baby boomers, and then a couple years younger than that. Kind of as we turn 50, one of those big zero numbers, women are having hormone changes. It's just natural at that time, and some people have a worse time with it than others. And when they do, they're finding they're underserved. They're finding from trainers, I hear this from the customers who ultimately find me because no one else could help them. And if I'm halfway around the world, you would think somebody locally should be able to help them even more, but they're not finding that kind of help. So there's a big, big spot waiting to be filled if you can do it and talk to your customer. So how are we going to do that? That's in number 3. Here's the mindset that I want to focus on today. Number 1, you have to agree with me that if you're going to change and you're going to really grow your business, you have to know your customer better than anyone else. And you want to have one single avatar, or you want to have multiple avatars. I'm working primarily with women who are 50 to 69. That's my avatar, but I really have to narrow that down and say, okay, it's really Linda, and she's 56, and she's tried everything. She used to be fairly fit, but that's not working. The exercise she used to do to, get her back in shape if she fell out the wagon isn't working anymore. The diet that used to work for her pulling things in, narrowing it down. That's not working anymore. Went to her doctor. She feels sluggish. All the numbers are fine. And their expectation is, well, you're getting older. And she doesn't want to settle for that. But she's been told by her trainer as well, after they've tried everything and exhausted the entire package she bought, well, you're doing great for your age, but, you've got to, settle for, at this age, what do you expect? That's the kind of thing she's hearing. And you've got to know those are her frustrations. That doctor is her frustration. The trainer she saw before you is her frustration. And more so, when she gets dressed, nothing fits. She doesn't feel good in clothes. She doesn't really look forward to going out anymore. And eating out is frustrating because she doesn't know what to choose. And she's probably got gas and bloating, so she's not really comfortable. She just doesn't feel like herself. If you know your customer as well as I know mine, that all of those things are true, you can write copy to that all day. You can write descriptions of your programs that will appeal to her. You could come up with 3 questions that would make her say, yes, you're talking to me. That's exactly what you want to be doing. So knowing that, sitting down, here's the easy part for me is I've really narrowed, and that's my one singular client. It's not that I don't work with other people, because I do. I actually end up working with spouses of women who've maybe gone through a group program, or I end up working with somebody who connects with me who's a little bit younger but still experiencing all of these problems. So it's not that I won't, it's just that when you get very clear on that one person who is your ideal customer, everything gets better. All of your copy is better. Everything is better. You're not trying to catch all the fish in the net. And that means other people will find you really more attractive as well, ironic as that might seem. The second thing that you have to do, besides from knowing your customer better than anyone else, is know that relationships are going to win going forward. It's not enough to be offering personal training and to be talking about personal training or our personal trainers. You've got to start making connections. Think about even social media. Instagram, for instance. Now Facebook is going to jump on the bandwagon with stories. Those little 30-second to minute stories that let people see, what are you doing today? What is your life like? Even if you are a business, people want to know about you. They want to know you. And a lot of times, if you're getting feedback that when you ask people, why me? What made you choose me? Or how did you find me? If you begin to get comments like, I just saw you on such and such. I saw you on YouTube, or I saw a video on your website, and I really liked, what you said and how you said it. And there's just something about you that, I just felt like you were the real deal, and that's a huge compliment, but that is one of your ideal people. I mean, they really like you, and you are most likely really going to like working with them. And there is someone out there who will say that to every single one of us. There are a lot of someones. We just have to use our own authentic voice. And that's one thing that you're going to discover if you haven't already. When you first start out, it's really easy to follow different gurus. And maybe you take a continuing education course from somebody, or you see somebody live on stage presenting about a topic. It is so easy to want to emulate that person or those people and kind of not know. It makes me think of that movie with Julia Roberts where she was the bride. It's called Runaway Bride, where she didn't know what kind of eggs she liked when she was, I don't know if she ever got married, but she was engaged to this guy, and then that guy. And so it was scrambled, and then it was fried, and then it was boiled, and then it was poached. And when she was all by herself, she didn't know what kind of eggs to order because she just went with the wind, whichever the way the wind blew her. that's what she did. So you've got to really find your own voice and use that to reach the people you most want to work with. Trying to, dress yourself up just like somebody else, or, look like somebody else and not have your own brand or your own style, is a big mistake, because people need you, and you're going to thrive more in your business by attracting them with the real you, because nobody can keep up a facade of trying to pretend that they are someone else for a long time. I used to work with trainers as they would just get started, and they would stumble across a book or an online program, and all they would talk about is kind of the same information that the online course had said that particular week, and the online guru and how they said it. And it became kind of a copycat thing. And it's often true that that's a good way to learn, but learning it and then applying it to your own personality, and realize that it doesn't matter how fresh or new you are, you have life experience. You have different things that have happened to you that make you unique, and you really want to use that. So keep in mind, relationships are going to win, and you want it to be a real relationship. So share a little bit of your personal story. Tell your why. Why is it you became a personal trainer? People want to know that. If you have a weight loss story, or you have a story that's not necessarily, hey, you were an Olympic athlete, but you were maybe a nobody in the back of the room in your PE class all through high school, and then suddenly, you realized what this could do for you and confidence when you became more fit. I don't know what your story is, but you have one. And the third point, and the final point tonight, is you have to stay fresh and continue to learn. You cannot settle for just kind of reaching, you've got a degree now, you've got a certification now, and you're there. I already know that. If you find yourself saying that, or you're just confident that, you're going to see kind of the same level of client all the time, so there's not too much point in, going that extra mile, that's about the time you're going to get really stale and really passed up. And what you want to do is look back. So I've been in the fitness industry for 34 years. I've done every single job, including toothbrushes on the toilet bowls and cleaning up vomit, in the women's bathroom. So that's not glamorous, but teaching aerobics, teaching when it was called aerobics, teaching group fitness after that, and then going one by one through all those new tools and innovations, when step aerobics was brand new and the slide was brand new, and and then everything that's come since, spinning was such a big deal when it first came out. But all of that, I get to learn one by one. Now you come into it, if you come in new, it's like, boom, all this, learn it, right? Do it, know it. And it's an overwhelm. But once you get there, you still need to keep yourself fresh, and you have to keep yourself on your toes. But I can look back and say, okay, aerobics instructors almost never had a degree. They weren't majoring in it. They simply had a little certification, or maybe they had just rhythm and got hired. But more and more trainers than ever have master's degrees. It's not a big deal, really, at all, to have a master's degree. A lot of displaced master's students who can't get other jobs end up being personal trainers. Some personal trainers at this level now have PhDs, and they are working because they love this. And many who maybe have been chiropractors or physical therapists are now just retiring to do personal training because they love it and they've seen the need and the connection. And there are a lot of PTs who are, athletic trainers or physical therapists who also do personal training. Strength and conditioning coach, that's really not that big of a deal anymore. So you've got to continue learning and figure out what makes you unique. And it's not more and more education, because that can be also kind of stifling. That's not the idea, but it's that you are keeping yourself thirsty and growing out of your comfort zone. So maybe the learning you need to do is about how to take some of the things you do online to expand how you can service your clients, at their convenience, not necessarily face to face, which potentially would also be your convenience. But that's it. Those are the three things for mindset of growing your business. You want to know your customer better than anyone else. And if you're in a big facility servicing both genders, all ages, you have to create that avatar over and over and over again and have them all targeted in your social media and your content creation. Relationships are going to win, and then you've got to stay fresh. You have to stay on your toes, because if you're not growing, what good are you doing? And you will get passed by. Even if you've been successful in the past, you can't ride on that. You have to continue to grow. So up next, in the next podcast, will be how you map out your marketing.